Most job descriptions in 2026 will not mention AI as a requirement. But that doesn't mean AI is optional. Companies now silently expect engineers to use AI to move faster, debug better, and ship cleaner systems. They will never ask you, do you know AI? They will simply expect you to perform like someone who does. And this is where many people struggle during interviews, not because they are bad engineers, but because they are slower than the new baseline. Hey everyone, I'm Vishaka, a senior solutions architect, and today in this video, I'm breaking down the exact AI skills that's expected from engineers in 2026 across DevOps, cloud, infrastructure, and development. And look, I'm not talking about becoming an AI researcher or doing a PhD in machine learning. I'm talking about the practical AI skills that will make you faster, more valuable, and honestly just better at your job. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what AI skills to focus on, what tools to use, and where to learn them for free. Alright, let's jump in. Number 1 is AI-assisted development. What this actually means, AI-assisted development, as the name suggests, is basically using AI to speed up your engineering work. You are not outsourcing your thinking. You're just getting faster at execution. By 2026, using AI in development will be as normal as using GitHub or Stack Overflow. Now, the tools you should know. Number 1 is GitHub Copilot. It will help you with auto-completion of code. Then there is Cursor, which is an AI-first code editor, and it gives you a lot of options across selecting models and checking the accuracy of the code. Then there are cloud-based IDEs as well. Cloud9, which is like browser IDE with AWS integration. Google Cloud Shell Editor, which is basically VS Code in GCP's environment. And then similar, there is Azure Cloud Shell Editor as well. Now let's jump into what you are actually using AI for. Boilerplate code, refactoring messy logic that one of your seniors left it to make you solve, brainstorming edge cases, and quick scaffolding. Let me give you a real example. Instead of spending 30 minutes to write unit tests manually, you can prompt generate comprehensive unit tests for this function using happy path cases, edge cases with empty and null inputs, error handling scenarios, also mock external API calls. AI is also used incredibly for code review. You can ask it to identify risky logic, missed edge cases, performance concerns, readability improvements, etc. etc. Now here's the thing, the main risk is shipping wrong code faster. I mean, it is helping you ship faster, but then if it's wrong code, then it's going to put you in problem. So the key thing to note, AI makes you faster, but it also makes mistakes faster. The real value here is when you keep the architecture and design decisions in your hands and let AI handle the repetitive effort. Now within cloud and DevOps also, AI-assisted coding is such a blessing. It helps you write Terraform code faster, helps you with writing automated scripts, debug errors, specifically indentation errors, and a lot more. Now, where to learn it for free? Within Free Code Camp, there is an AI-assisted coding course that you must take. Then Google also offers Introduction to Generative AI course, which you should check out. There are a few other free resources that I have added in the guide below. Number 2 skill is prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is the skill to give AI the right context so it produces usable output consistently. In engineering work, most bad AI output happens because of vague prompts, missing constraints, unclear expectations, not because the AI is bad, but because we are lazy. Now, where this skill is used, you will use prompt to generate code, debug errors, refactor logic, write documentation, and explain unfamiliar systems. So you must write a strong prompt. Now, this is the right structure to write a prompt. Number 1 is context. What are you working on? Number 2 is goal. What do you want out of it? You need to summarize, translate, generate. Tell AI what's your goal. Be clear about your goal. Number 3 is constraints. As an engineer, you should understand what are the limitations as well that you want AI to respect. The fourth and important part is examples. If you can give AI what expected output looks like, it will give you better results. Number 5, what to avoid. Be explicit of what you don't want. Let me show you a bad versus good prompt. The bad prompt is fix the bug. A good prompt looks like this. I'm seeing a null pointer exception in my Java Spring Boot application when processing user uploads. Here's the stack trace. The error only happens when the files are larger than 500 MB. Please analyze the root cause and suggest a fix that handles large files properly, includes proper error handling, and follows the best practices. Do you see the difference difference? Basically, you need to turn AI into your debugging partner. Now, what is the daily advantage out of it? It becomes a productivity multiplier. The same AI model becomes 5x more usable if you prompt correctly. You get speed with clarity, fewer iterations, less rework, and better output in the first try. Now, this is just not a skill, this is a whole role. And if you can really show how to use AI models responsibly, you should definitely try this role as well. Now, here's a reality check. Prompting well does not replace fundamentals. For example, there's still system design fundamentals you need to know across systems. AI will not help you with that. The context is still something you will decide. So you must make sure that you are familiar with the fundamentals of system design. Now, where to practice? There are some amazing free courses you must check out. ChatGPT Prompt Engineering by Deep Learning AI. This is a free course. Then there's Anthropic's Prompt Engineering Interactive Tool, learnprompting.org, and a few more. Check out the details in the guide below. Now, the third skill is LLM Ops Fundamentals. LLM Ops is deploying and managing LLM-based applications in production environments, not just the demo notebooks that works on your laptop. This is in production or real environments. Now, companies want AI features, but the hardest part is running them reliably, safely, and cost-effectively. Now, we are talking about the applied AI side. We're not talking about training, processing, or different stages of model development. Here, your application is just not calling an LLM. It is a whole system with data retrieval, orchestration, monitoring, and guardrails. Now, what you need to focus on. Number one is RAG, which is Retrieval Augmented Generation. Now, you must have heard about it a bunch of times. RAG is foundational and you must know about it. Now, most production apps needs up-to-date, company-specific answers, not some generic model output. Here's a simple RAG workflow. It starts with user query, which gets converted into embeddings. Then there's a search in vector databases. Then it retrieves the relevant docs. Now, this retrieved context is fed to the LLM, which generates your answer. The second most important piece in this workflow is vector databases. It is important because they store embeddings and enable similarity search for retrieval. Vector databases is the backbone of RAG, so make sure you focus on this. Then the other component is embeddings. It matters because the quality of retrieval depends how well you represent and search knowledge. And then there's API integration, so you should be familiar with APIs and API management first. And in this piece, you will understand integration. These are basically the endpoints. This matters because most LLM apps connects with tools, workflows, and other business systems. Now, within LLM Ops, you also need to focus on cost management. This is one of the key interview questions as well. How will you track token usage? What is the process to implement caching? How can you batch request? How do you optimize your model? And also making latency trade-offs. Now, here's the hot take. In many teams right now, LLM Ops create more immediate value than traditional DevOps because now AI products are priority. Now, where to learn it for free? There's a course by deeplearning.ai that is LangChain for LLM application development. Again, free. You must check it out. There are also a few YouTube channels and GitHub repos I highly recommend for you to look into. Details in the guide below. Number 4 skill is AI for infrastructure and operations, aka AI Ops. Now, what is this about? This is where AI moves from help me code to help me run systems. AI Ops is about using AI to detect issues, reduce incident times, and prevent failures in complex infrastructure. Now, where this is actually used. Number 1 is anomaly detection. This is one of the biggest practical use cases. Here, you are proactively spotting unusual patterns in metrics, logs, and traces before the end user starts complaining. Number 2 use case is predictive scaling. This is again another popular one. Instead of reacting after everything is on fire. Number 3 is cost optimization. This is becoming extremely critical. These resources where your model runs or where your model gets served are expensive. At times, you may not be rightly utilizing these GPU, TPU resources. So AI can help you identify the resource wastage. Number 4 one is automated incident response. It is also growing. AI-assisted runbooks, faster triage, and guided resolution steps can really help you during your on-call. Trust me. Now, let's understand the tools in this space. There's Datadog's Watchdog for AI-powered anomaly detection, PagerDuty AI Ops, Prometheus and Grafana with AI plugins, and a few more open source stacks as well. Key thing to note here is Prometheus and Grafana are still the common monitoring stack, and AI layers are being added on top. It helps with smarter alerting and analysis. Now, in the coming era, reliability expectations will rise, and it will be too complex to manage monitoring manually. So you must focus into the skill as well. Now, where to learn it for free? There's an Introduction to AI Ops course by IBM, Prometheus and Grafana tutorials with AI add-ons. Details in the guide below. Number 5 is understanding AI limitations. Yes, this is a skill. Let me tell you why. This skill separates people people who use AI from people who use AI safely in real engineering. And this is a core part of the interviews now. How can you apply AI more responsibly? Even as a cloud DevOps engineer, how are you using AI to provision infrastructure using best practices? Everything. Now, what you need to know for the skill. Number one, AI can hallucinate. It can confidently output wrong information or wrong code. I've seen it generating functions that don't exist or just make up some random API endpoints. Number two is security risks matter. AI generated code can introduce vulnerabilities, unsecure defaults, and insecure patterns. So you can't just copy paste without review, which means you need to know coding. Remember the part where I said you need to know the fundamentals? This is the part where it's used. Then there are privacy matters as well. Sensitive code, customer data that should not be pasted into AI tools without policy awareness. So you need to check your company's AI usage policy. And if you're not working with a company, you must know that these exist. Now, your role here is as a quality gatekeeper. You validate outputs, enforce standards, and prevent AI mistakes from reaching production. In 2026, teams will trust engineers who can control AI, not engineers who blindly believes in it. The reality check here is AI mistakes scale and humans are still responsible for it. Now, what you need to focus here? So apart from reading docs, there are a few courses you must review, such as Responsible AI Practices by Google, Understanding AI Limitations by Microsoft Learn, and a few more. Now, in your day-to-day task, if you're using AI-assisted coding or you are reviewing logs, try to think as a security engineer what could be the leaks here. The reason I'm asking you to do this is during interviews, this is how you will explain. Now, we are around the end, so here you will be building enhanced projects. We all know projects are the proof of work for AI skills, so you have to show how you can apply AI into engineering workflows. Here are a few project ideas that you can look into. One is AI-powered log analyzer. It helps you group incidents and suggest root causes. Then there could be an intelligent deployment assistant. This could basically flag risk before deployments. Then there's infrastructure recommendation engine. This will help you suggest cost and scaling requirements. This is a very cool one. Now, there are a few more project ideas as well as implemented projects that I have shared in the description below. Now, the learning path, real quick. You start with the AI fundamentals, what these models actually do, where they fail, and why they behave the way they do. Also, look into the different models out there and why will you pick one over other. Number 2 point is stop treating AI as a subject. If you say I learn AI first and then use it later, it's not going to work. Start using it in your current workflows immediately. You must be using it for your projects already, but if you haven't yet, this is your signal. Now, step 3 is use tools in simple and controlled ways. So if you're using Cursor as your code editor, now it has written a script for you, some automation script like for running some load testing. Do not trust it like that blindly. Ask questions around that code before you apply it. The reason I'm saying this is because when you go to an interview, you will not share the prompt with the interviewer, right? You will share the logic behind that particular problem. So you must focus on learning why AI is writing something for you. What is it thinking? Number 4 is plug yourself into this ecosystem. There's no way you can resist this wave. So why not just adjust and apply it? So join communities. There's a LangChain Discord community, AI engineering community on Discord again, MLOps community Slack, and a few more suggested in the doc below. So the real takeaway is this. AI is not a separate career anymore. It is becoming part of how every good engineer works. If you start building these skills now, you may not be threatened what is going to happen in the rest of the year. You'll slightly stay ahead of the curve. I say slightly because things change in a day, but the keyword here is ahead. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one skill from this video, start applying it in your daily work, and slowly stack the rest. If this video helped you get some clarity, hit that like button and also share with someone who's also worried around how AI is going to impact their career. Comment below which AI skill you want to start first. I do want to know what resonates with you. And of course, subscribe for more cloud career breakdowns and AI skill guides. I'll see you in the next video.